I was to have tried to get onto the first freedom bus that went south. People were injured on that bus. People were beaten in Alabama. This set up a guilt complex in me because Percy Sutton hadn't gone. Percy Sutton had stayed in New York. He excused himself by saying that he had work to do in the NAACP. He had cases in court. But deep down within Percy Sutton, he felt that he was afraid. And to live with Percy Sutton, I had to go. But I tell you, the most cruel thing that I experienced was not being in jail in Jackson, Mississippi, as they tried to brainwash me, as they do all who go to Jackson, Mississippi. But it was a ride from Atlanta, Georgia, to Montgomery, Alabama. And it was a feeling of building fear as I rode in the front of a bus, just two of us, through hostile territory. A territory that I had been through before, in which I had always ridden in the back of the bus because I didn't have guts to get in the front of the bus. But now the time had come. I was riding in the front of the bus. I don't remember how many hours it was from Atlanta, but if it was 6 hours, actually by trip, it was 60 hours of the fear of the mind. So much so had this tension built up that as we went through the countryside and we looked out and I saw the red clay, we passed Tuskegee Institute, where I had gone to school under segregated circumstances, where I had been in the Air Force as a Negro cadet, where I had graduated as a Negro officer who could not eat in the White Officers Club as I prepared to go and fight the American cause. I looked at Tuskegee. I was so doggone scared, not afraid, scared, that I wanted to get off the bus, get out, and stay at Tuskegee. Tuskegee was a familiar name. Montgomery was a place of hostility. Montgomery, I remembered from 1940. I remembered Montgomery from the Capitol. It's the capital of Alabama. On the Capitol steps, a shoeshine boy, not more than 18, head split open from behind, and blood streaming, somehow gushing over the front of his face and down. This was 1940, but that has always symbolized Montgomery, Alabama to me. Finally, we arrived in Montgomery. We were going into Montgomery, as we later found out, in the face of a court order, a federal court order that said no one would go in as a freedom rider. This was Montgomery. This was the hostile Montgomery in which the beatings had just taken place a few days prior to this of the freedom riders. We pulled into the bus station of Montgomery, Alabama, and now the moment of truth had arrived. The bus pulled into the station. I got ready to get up and started to stand, and my legs wouldn't hold me. This is fear. Now, fear from what? Fear from riding into the bus station? No, fear compounded from Percy Sutton, who couldn't go to the white playground as a kid. Percy Sutton, who was put off a train as an officer, a captain, in Texarkana in 1945 when he had returned from fighting a war for his country. These were the fears that come up over the years. And what have they done to Percy Sutton? They had stilled his legs as effectively as if a nerve had been sat upon. And they were cold, and I had to massage my legs to get up, to get off the bus. And this was fear. Fear that no one else would experience except the Negro. Fear from conditioning, and it's a cruel sort of